All right, another episode of Conversation After Dark. Tay, what's up with you?
Everything's great with me. What's going on with you?
It's all good. It's all good. Tell people where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversates After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD, the podcast at gmail.com.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversationafterdark.com. Listen to the past episodes. Make sure you tell a friend. Tay, let's do the icebreaker.
Okay, today's icebreaker. Has there ever been a time in which a romantic partner just didn't understand how to do a certain thing?
Mm, that's a good question. Didn't understand how to do a certain thing. I'm not sure. Okay, so I personally feel that when a woman acts like she doesn't know how to give oral, she's doing it on purpose.
Okay.
Because I feel that women are smart enough to like, if I fuck this up enough, he won't ask me to do it anymore. So if she's giving you head and she's doing a bad job of it, then it's probably because she's like not into you or she's not into the act. Um, and most of the time for a woman to put your penis near her mouth, she's got to be somewhat into you, like as a person, but she probably just not into the act. And I think that there are some women that just prefer not to do it for whatever reason they have. Sometimes they feel it. It may be something that happened in the past. It may be, you know, something wrong with your hygiene, or it may just be they just don't like doing it. They just don't like doing it, you know. So that would be the only time I felt like, trying to get somebody to like, teeth and just not doing a good job, not doing a good
Yeah.
job. And I will say this, um, the women who are good at it, they don't really do it for you. They do it for themselves. If you find one that does it for herself, but also gets off on pleasing you, then you, my friend, have found a winner. But my personal experience, I haven't been able to find too many of those.
Okay. Um, Another reason, if she's of a certain age, it could be she was taught that doing that was something that bad girls did. You know, that can be a hang up for some women too.
See, I mean, we talked about this on the show before. Like we both said in high school, like if you was sucking dick in high school, like you was a hoe.
Yeah,
Like you was a hoe, like for real, for real. And if you was a guy that was going down on chicks, you was a straight sucker in high school. Like I said, as soon as we got to college, everybody was putting their mouth on everything,
true, true,
you
true.
know. In
And some
fact,
people don't grow out of that mentality.
dang, even at this age,
I think more so at this age than people who are our age and older, I should say, not necessarily when people get this age.
I would just say, man,
Maybe I should refer. Maybe I should phrase it as our generation and older.
okay.
Yeah.
I would just say, like, if you're a woman and you out here and you not, you know, giving fellatio and you single, like, hey, the competition is fierce. You better get with the program. Now, I can see you not wanting to do it outside the confines of a relationship because most of the time when you're giving oral, you're not protected. Most of the time, nine
Most
times,
of the time, yeah,
9.9 point. Have you ever given head with a condom?
I have.
It's a fucking waste of time.
It is. It's not enjoyable for
Like,
anybody.
what are we doing this for? What, why are we doing this? Like, you not,
Right, exactly.
can't really be enjoying this. You can't, because like condoms have like a smell to them, and like,
And the taste is plastic, so or
yeah,
rubber, so it has that taste.
I've never tasted a condom, so I'm gonna take your word.
You know what? When I did it, it was a flavored condom, but that flavor only lasts but so long. So then after that, you have the taste of rubber. So,
Whose idea was it?
um, I want to say it was mine. I don't remember. This was years ago. It was I was in my 20s. So
You
yeah.
just trying to see like what it was like to have a use a flavored condom. You're like,
No, it was like, those I told you I was super, super safe in my in my early 20s. I won't say I was extreme with it because I was safe. So so yeah, it was just, being safe, being with somebody new.
mm. Yeah, I feel you on that. I had a chick that I used to meet. We were never together, but like I was, I guess, fuck buddies is like something you do like repeatedly, right?
Yeah.
So what do you call like if I'm in town and you got time in your schedule, we gonna fuck around. Like what's that called? Fuck buddy.
A booty call?
Like okay.
Yeah.
So we were just this, but like every time she domes me up, well, we don't mess around no more. Long story about that, but um, she always wanted to put a condom on, and makes sense considering like if I never like went inside her raw, so most people were like, well, shit, if you give head or you eat the woman out, then you put a condom on, other than avoiding potential pregnancy. Shit, you done ate the disease, so what's the point?
Yeah, I agree. Which is why maybe that shouldn't be done till if you're willing to go raw, then that's you know. But if you're not willing to go raw, maybe you shouldn't be doing that either.
The last time I got tested, they swabbed my mouth. I had never had that done in the what? How long I've been active? 30 years I've been active.
Hmm.
I don't think I wasn't getting tested, but like it was always just blood work, urine, that's it. But the last time I went, they actually like swabbed my mouth and did the whole shebang. I never had that before.
I did that years ago for HIV test, but you know,
So this
that was
wasn't
years
they
ago.
did blood for HIV. I
Okay.
think at one point there were like swab tests for HIV.
Hmm.
I was at the clinic, the health clinic, because I was just like, let me just go here. It's $25. I think it was like $25. And they're pretty thorough. They test everything except for herpes. Nobody tests for herpes unless like you like have like an active outbreak or what.
Hmm.
But and I could be wrong about that, but nobody really. Remind me, I just heard something. And you tell me if you feel like it's okay. Yeah, or
Okay.
agree with what this person told me. But they asked me like, "Do you give oral?" And I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah." They were like, "Okay, open up," and they do a swab or whatever. Which, I appreciate them to being thorough. I appreciate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there is a STI called trichom. How you say it? Trichomoniasis.
Yeah, I think that's how it's pronounced. I know what you're talking about.
Trichomoniasis, right?
Hmm.
Now, one of my friends told me that it's actually more common in girl on girl sex. Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of the infection or disease or whatever, but I've never heard that it's more common in women.
They even went as far as to say that HPV and herpes was more common in girl on girl sex. And that didn't really make sense to me. I just assumed maybe out of ignorance that girl on girl sex is safer. Um, the few lesbian, bisexual friends that I have, and I'm not saying like I'm against having those friends, but like I'll say the ones who are like straight up lesbian, like that's a process for them. Like before they start a new relationship, they go out and they buy a new toy. It's no like I'm not
Hmm.
recycling the toy that I had with this woman with this woman. It's a whole new setup. So I just assumed that it was a lot more safer.
I wouldn't assume that, because I mean, unless you've only been with one person in your life, you could possibly have, anybody could possibly have anything. And then if you sex with a woman, it's the same thing. You're using your mouth, you're using your hands. If things can, if you have something, you could trace it back. You could give, so it doesn't, to me, it doesn't matter.
See, because the situations where I've heard of trick, what's gonna call a trick, somebody received, yeah, trick. I felt like it was always a guy. Either he received it from his girl, or he
Hmm.
gave it to her because maybe he got it from another woman. And it was one of those things where, for men, and correct me if I'm wrong, for men, it doesn't really show up as anything. Like we can have it and it's nothing, but it actually impacts the woman. So if
Hmm.
she's treated for it, but the guy doesn't, it's going to be a never-ending cycle of him reinfecting her. You ever heard of that?
I don't, but I don't know all of the, the ins and outs and the who's and what's of all the diseases. I remember learning about them in health class in high school, but outside of that, I don't remember, what does what, you know.
I got you. So, in the chat, Angel says, "Hey, hey, Angel."
Hey,
LC says, "Hey." Shalon says, "Trick." She said, "Trick. Trick is easy to get if you keep using damp towels." What? I'm assuming like when you like clean up afterwards. Is that what she means?
um,
Go deeper with that, Shalon, because I'm trying to figure out what you mean by that. Like, because I mean, you wash up with a rag, right? Or no? Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
Go deeper with that with Shalon, because you kind of got to start with that with educators. So, but to me, it brings up another point that came up here recently. We talked about sex ed.
Hmm.
You and I are the same age. I think, we came up in different areas. So I talked about how sex ed was really, it was done by like our football coach. And I mean, I guess from a 14-year-old, 15-year-old mind, it was somewhat educational, but like it was more so just, okay, here's genitalia, here's anatomy, right? And it really wasn't either I wasn't paying attention when they talked about the female anatomy, or it didn't really go deep into it. It was some talk about STDs and STIs, but it was very, in my opinion, superficial, um, and clinical, um, which I think it should be clinical when they're teaching, sex ed. But it really didn't delve deeper into anything different. And the question was posed, should they expand what is taught in sex ed? Should they like talk about masturbation? Should they talk about non-heterosexual sex? Should they talk about all those things in the school? What's your opinion on it?
Um, I do believe that the times are changing. And a lot of times, even if we don't want to, we have to change with the times. And if we're going to teach about heterosexual sex, we have to teach about alternative lifestyles. Or, I mean, I don't even want to call LGBTQ alternative, but
I get it.
I believe if in this day and age, since we have a lot of new laws or laws are changing to include people from the LGBTQ community, then we have to include those in sex ed too.
Shit, now with this new president, because he owns but yeah. Um,
That's why I kind of hesitated because I thought about that as I was saying it.
yeah. I would say that there's a slippery slope there.
Hmm.
Definitely feel like probably adding, covering, okay, this is what bisexual means, this is what gay, lesbian. I don't know if most teachers know, like, if there's a set definition of like what's queer. Like, I still don't really understand what queer means. And people have tried to explain it to me. Um, Pansexuality. It wasn't until people I was very close to told me that they were pansexual that I was like, okay, let me really try to understand what this is.
Hmm.
Because before I was somewhat ignorant. I was like, look, man, I'm not trying to learn all that shit, and I straight played it off. But I feel if we start talking about those things, and I don't have any skin in the game because my kids are grown now. But um, obviously, grandchildren or whatever, it will promote more understanding because if you have more knowledge about it, there's less fear.
That's true.
Now, the masturbation thing, I don't know about that because I feel like masturbation, to me, the sole intent for masturbation is pleasure.
Hmm.
And when you start talking about pleasure in the classroom, it starts getting away from just being clinical. And I really don't want a teacher because pleasure comes with emotions from my perspective. And
Hmm.
I just don't see that being an appropriate topic in the classroom because it could really slide into being inappropriate real quick.
I could see that. Um, but I can also see the argument on teaching it also in a clinical term in a way that says this is another way that sex can happen with yourself. You know, because if we talk about heterosexual sex or even LGBTQIA sex, if you talk about that, you have to find a way to make it clinical. So I think masturbation can come under that. I think there are ways, and if teachers don't know, I mean they have to. I do believe they have to renew different certifications and continue learning as other professions. So that would just be another thing that health teachers would probably have to get.
Right now.
Yeah,
Do you think that masturbation is something that should be talked about?
yes.
Okay. Okay. Why so? I'm not challenging. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just but why so?
You know what? I don't know. I just think um I think that old argument of kids are going to do it. So you might as well talk about it. Because if we don't talk about it, if the adults don't talk about it to younger people, because I don't want to say kids like we're talking about little kids, but like if the adults don't talk about it, then children or teenagers or whatever are liable to get information from their friends or other sources, that may not be the best.
Yeah.
So I mean that's a when if you had asked me this 20 years ago, I'd have been like, oh hell no. But as I mature, as I grow, in learning about different things, I just think that the more information we give people, the better they are to do what they feel is right or wrong.
Make informed decisions. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
So Shalon said her doctor told her to be careful using your towel repeatedly, especially if it's still damp, because the bacteria can cause trick. Since she
Ooh,
always gives
okay.
the same speech at every checkup. Okay, more you know. I definitely think that you're right in terms of where education comes from, especially for guys.
Hmm.
Feel as if I feel that the education we received is more towards just the guys. We don't talk about, like I said, maybe I just blocked it out because I don't have, a uterus and fallopian tubes and all that old shit. But like, we really didn't go there. You definitely didn't learn about the G spot and the A spot and the U spot. You definitely didn't learn about anal sex, anything like that. And these are things that if you just hearing from like an older sister, older brother, older cousin, you may or may not get good information. Um, we're very transparent on this show. I'll tell you that any woman that I gave an orgasm in my 20s to early 30s, it was pure luck. It was pure luck. Because if you just watch porn and you talk to dudes and you talk about like, man, beat it out the frame and you know what I'm saying? I tore that ass up and all this old shit. You are conditioned to think that that's what good sex is. But once you learn, like, okay, this is where the G spot is at. This is the A spot. This is how you can tell that you're doing the right things. That didn't come from me until like my mid to late 30s. And that was just through desire to be educated. Actually, it was an older brother, older fraternity brother. I mean, the conversation came up, and he actually like held an education seminar,
Hmm.
online on Facebook, telling like, look, this is how you can tell that you're touching the G spot. It should feel like this. Now, imagine telling motherfuckers in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and they like, oh, for real? That's some sad shit. but
I mean, it is,
but
but
it's reality though.
it's reality. And this country has been super, even though we have Democrats and Republicans, the whole country as a whole has been super conservative for a long time. So it really isn't until recent years where I even remember people even talking about sex openly like this. So I can see somebody 30, 40, 50, 60, and just learning certain things like that.
Yeah, yeah. 60s, 70s, like if your day still work in 60s, 70s, you just doing good to get it
I
in.
don't know about that. It depends on the person, depends on your health.
Late 60s and your dick still getting hard. Look,
60s is not that old. We're not talking 80s.
I understand, but we're still talking, you're talking motherfuckers who the demographic in their 60s now, they smoking cigars. They they drinking whiskey and bourbon 2 or 3 times a week, right? They
That's
not
why I say it depends on your health.
they're not eating the best. So if you in your 60s and you still able to listen, I know motherfuckers in their 40s, then
Yeah,
that needs some help.
I believe that.
I think some been hitting their 30s. They need some help. So I'm just thankful I'm not in that number, but
Yeah.
it may happen. I'm trying to fight it off though. But
So go ahead.
no, go
Finish
ahead.
it. So growing up, I had, and I don't know why, but I had a fascination for sex. I've talked about this before. Not necessarily doing it, because I was an adult when I lost my virginity, but actually learning about it, learning different techniques, learning about different lifestyles. That's why even before I experimented, I knew about a lot of stuff. So when it came to my first boyfriend, I wanted to try everything. So I practiced a lot on him. A lot of the stuff that I had, been learning about or reading about.
Was he receptive?
Oh, of course. Well, he was receptive to some things. And
I
it
was
was
gonna say,
he
dude,
was
because
a
he was like, let me take your prostate. Was he like, go
oh
ahead?
no no oh I'm not trying to do that anyway. So he didn't have to worry about that.
You wouldn't use your finger?
No, I don't want my finger up there. No, 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 no,
No,
no. Uh, No, what's weird to me, what was funny to me back then
that's a tad bit shocking.
is, huh?
A tad bit shocking. Because
Why?
you're so open-minded as a person when it
And I always say my extreme no's are scat play, which to me, I don't see how you can do that and not have some kind of transfer. But that's just me and where my mind goes. So I don't want to go
you don't know
anywhere.
how to your dudes don't know how to shower.
But you're sticking your finger in there. That's
You ain't trying to like search for gold, are you?
I don't know because I've never done it, so I don't know how far you got to go. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
I never,
I'm
I
I'm not
never
an
received
expert
it.
in that.
Yeah, I never received it, so I can't. I mean, the only thing that I've had is, the doctor. You know what I mean? Just like, hey, and thankfully we don't have to do that anymore unless it's like extreme cases.
Yeah, I've heard
But
it.
like, I've talked to friends of mine who are doctors, and they are just like, it's uncomfortable for everybody involved, like especially the doctor and
Yeah,
well, not the doctor but the patient, but like, and they give you like this little tissue afterwards, like, here you go, you can wipe, so you can wipe the little KY off your cheeks and shit. It was just bad. It was bad.
yeah.
Oh,
Um, yeah, you made me forget what I was gonna say. Ah,
my bad.
it's cool. It's
You
cool.
talking about being open-minded, practicing on your maid. uh
Yeah, no, I remembered that part, but it was something about. Oh, I was going to say, in terms of being clean, I've have heard from gay guys that there are things you can do to clean it out, like clean it out, to make sure that that area is free and clear of any and everything before you engage in those activities.
so I have family members who are gay, and they're pretty receptive to me asking them questions about stuff like, my dudes who are gay, like my cousin who's gay, like shit, let's like hang with the fellas, right? I mean, other than he just, he got a little different type of swag to him. So I never asked him about that stuff because I know there's a certain limit of shit that I want to know. Like, I think the last time we was hanging out, I asked him, I said, "Hey man, you see a chick with a fat ass, man, your dick still get hard?" And he was like, "Nah, but I appreciate it though." You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna do nothing, but I can appreciate, a fine ass woman. I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I heard that they more so focus on oral because it takes a lot to
Hmm.
prep to do that act. So Danielle said enemas, yeah, enemas,
Yeah.
yeah. Because at the end of the day, they still dudes. So the motherfuckers is lazy. They're not gonna do an enema every day. So,
Oh gosh.
anyway, let me get off of that before I get. But I learned a lot from my cousin,
Hmm.
and it's a girl cousin, and like she kind of educated me on some things. She's the first person that gave me a condom. Like, you gotta use this. So I was walking around with it in my wallet and shit. Like, I'm gonna be prepared.
Yeah.
That's the wrong place to keep a condom, but walk around with a condom and shit. But yeah, she did a lot for me. But she's a hater though, because like she got friends and I've tried to get with her friends, and she's like, nah, motherfucker, that's not gonna happen. And I think it's because like she knows her friends.
Hmm.
So in her mind, she's just like, hey, like, no, because I know her and I don't play about you. So if she does something and I find out and she didn't hurt your feelings or anything, now I done lost a friend and I like my friend. So is she
Okay.
right or is she overreacting?
Um, I I want to say so. A part of me wants to say that family friends or people who are like related to your family, like your family's in-laws, should be off limits. But I'm gonna get to that in a second. But in terms of the scenario you just brought, I think she should have let y'all figure that out. If y'all grown people, I mean, if you were grown, she was grown, y'all consented. I think she should have let y'all figure that out.
I think so too,
Hmm.
but I think she's like, look, I'm gonna have to choose a side. I'm always have to choose you. Like, unless you like, junior at the bachelor party, you know what I'm saying, with Ebony on some dumb shit like that. But, if it's just a matter of, hey, y'all not working out and y'all got a disagreement, it's all three sides to a story. She's like, I got to
Right.
choose you. And I don't want to do that with my girl. Now, I most of the time, like her homegirls that she grew up with, like I didn't seen them so much. I ain't even really damn attracted to them. Like it had to be it had to be some real like on a hey, you want to fuck around? Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
But I've had some that said they was peeping me though.
Okay.
I did hit one of her friends and she figured it out because like I came back to our hometown and she was like, "Where you staying at?" And I was like, "I got a room." And she was like, "Who you gonna be with?" Because your people know you, right?
Hmm.
Who you gonna be with? And I was like, "No, don't worry about it. And she said the girl's name. And I was like, how you know? And she was like, because she's always liked you. I know, and I know you. I was like, damn.
See, this is the only reason why, not saying I haven't, but this is one of the reasons why I wouldn't get with somebody that close to the family is because if y'all just have a fling, say it's not nothing serious, or if y'all get into a relationship and it don't work out, if they're that close to the family, they're still coming around for different things. So that can be awkward. And then what if, you get into a relationship with somebody else and then I don't know, it just seems like that stuff is just kind of awkward to me.
I feel you on that. I also think there's a double standard there
Hmm.
because if a guy tries to talk to his homeboy's sister or cousin, there's an extra layer of responsibility there because my cousin as a woman was just like, I got to stop fucking with her. Whereas men, you hurt my cousin, now I got to fuck you up.
Yeah. 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 Years
So,
ago, I have my one of my cousins who's like really close. He's more like my brother than my cousin. Well, when we were growing up. And I remember him telling me that one of his friends wanted to talk to me, and he was like, and I told him, if you do, I'll kill you. Because he know his friend, but he didn't know me though. So, but in that way. But anyway, so it was here, so we never did anything.
yeah. Nah, because it's just like there's a line you don't cross. There's
Mm,
cross. Like I remember we were in Atlanta for a meetup for our group, and we met this couple, and we were just talking to them, shooting the shit, and the woman was a little bit too friendly. You know, she was talking to me and my councilman Tate a little bit too open and liberal. You know, it was like, yeah, she kind of
mm,
was a little bit. And so we asked. I'm trying to involve dude in the conversation because, like, I don't want him feeling some type of way. And so I said, well, how y'all get together? How y'all know each other? And he was like, we've been knowing each other for years. How long y'all been together? A year. Well, what's the story behind that? He was like, her big brother is my line brother, and there was an age difference between the two, right?
mm.
So clearly he had known her since she was much younger, like little sister,
Oh,
where it should be like that's my line brother, little sister, so she my little sister too.
yeah,
And they started messing around, and line brother, big brother, found out about it. Now he don't fuck with either one of them because he felt violated, especially by his line brother. Like, bro, like what you doing
yeah,
talking about sister?
yeah. I could see that, especially if they didn't tell him. I could see that.
Well, when they finally did tell him, he didn't handle it well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, that's another thing. You kind of put the mutual party in a bad situation. Like you said, your cousin, she said she would have to choose you. And yeah, that's enough. That's why I don't like hooking people up because I don't want to be in the middle. I don't want to be in the middle of nothing. Don't look at me like that.
I'm on there. We ain't gonna go there. Yeah, you don't like it, all right. But yeah, I think back in the day though, it was more common. Like I know people back in the day, it was like because people dated folks that they grew up with in the neighborhood.
Hmm.
You saw a
Hmm.
lot more like high school sweethearts and things of that nature. So it was nothing to be like, well, her brother's my best friend.
Yeah,
I've seen that happen. I've seen situations like that a lot, but it's more so our parents' generation that had those type of like communal relationships, where it's like,
yeah. Like my parents were the product of. Well, I should say I'm the product of friends of the family hooking up. That's how my mother and my father met.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Nah, I can't co-sign none of my dudes messing with none of my friends, none of my female family members.
Yeah.
No, primarily because some of my family members, I know my dudes can't handle.
Okay.
Not no like sexual thing, just y'all come from two different upbringings
Hmm.
and you ain't ready for all that, because you got like that one side of the family, then you got that other side of the family.
Yeah.
Like one of those situations. I feel like as a crew, we all respect each other enough not to dirtbag if we were to do it,
Hmm.
not to dirtbag one of our homeboys' family members. But it's such a tricky situation. I don't think anybody even wants to touch that.
Yeah. I
Not
can
at
see that.
not at all. Not at all. So
Hmm.
I got a nasty. Well, would you or would you not?
Okay.
I just learned about this. Would you or would you not allow somebody to enter the fourth hole?
The fourth hole. What's the fourth hole?
The urethra.
Oh, that's more so for y'all.
What you mean? I thought it was like, don't y'all got like a again?
We
Listen,
do,
listen,
but
listen. I'm a product of sex ed in the late 80s, early 90s. So like, we always thought like y'all peed and did everything out of one hole. We didn't know there was like a little pee hole.
yeah, there's two, but I don't, it's not big enough for that.
They say it could work.
Oh, I, okay, maybe I need to go back to anatomy school, but from what I know and from what I see, it's not big enough for that.
What? So how you say it's more for us then?
Because I've heard of people sticking things into men.
Oh no.
Yes, I've heard of that. I was just watching something not too long ago where a guy did. I watched crazy stuff, crazy things. So.
Clearly. uh nah, that don't seem because like that's the whole like fear of getting like tested for STDs because like they got to go swab inside your penis.
Yeah.
Uh nah, so Urban Dictionary says the fourth hole on a woman that you could stick something in is located behind the left knee. What the okay, okay, Urban. Okay. I don't think Urban Dictionary knows what it's talking about. But I heard this from women, and they were like, the fourth hole, and I was like, what the fuck is the fourth hole? And they kind of like just snickered and didn't say anything. And so like clearly it's something that actually happens.
I've never heard of that. And I again, I read a lot. I watch a lot. I have never in my life heard of that happening to a woman.
And now you heard of men having enjoying that type of action?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Carmen said, whose micro thin penis going through a lady's urethra? That's what I'm saying. It has to be extremely small.
Yeah, I guess. So, um, oh, one more thing. So, is there a certain penis size that is boyfriend material versus non-boyfriend? So, like, I read on social media, like they said 9 inches and above, hell no, can't be my boyfriend because it's too much. But like 6, 7, 8, that's boyfriend penis. Do you agree?
No.
Somebody inbox asked conversation says because Tay's a size queen.
No, I will work with what a guy has as long as it's not too small. But I'm not going to discount a guy because he's too big. I haven't. I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, could you marry a micro peen?
No, I don't even want to be with one. So why would I marry one? No. Mm-mm. No.
Dang. Hey, but they be getting married though, right?
To other people, not to me.
What's the equivalent of micro peen for men?
I have no idea.
What would be the equivalent? Not flat chested, because flat chested women get married all the time. No ass. Nah,
But flat booty women get married too.
they do.
So,
They do. So I guess it just had to be like no game in the bedroom. Like that'd be the like if she's
yeah,
just stiff or
they
uncoordinated.
get married too though. Because that whole, especially, I'm gonna go back to people our generation and older. It goes back to that whole they want the Madonna whore thing where they don't want their wife to be a certain way, but they'll take it in the street, but they don't want their wife to be that way. That used to happen a lot back in the day.
I don't understand that though,
I don't either.
because that just means your wife gonna get smothered out by somebody on the side.
No, that usually meant that the man was going out and getting what he really wanted from somebody else.
Yeah, but how's the wife gonna be satisfied then? She gonna have to get her some side peen.
It was again, it hasn't been until recent years where a woman's pleasure has been something that's talked about and something that women are starting to demand.
Y'all demand it now. You demand it.
Of course. We both gonna be pleasured in this situation or it's not gonna work.
I got you. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. All right, I think we talked about it enough. Tell me where they can find us.
Yeah. You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show, you can reach us at CVAD, the podcast at gmail.com. Make sure you like this video, share it, subscribe, and leave us a comment.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Listen to our past episodes. We'll house you next time. Peace.
Bye.